Welcome to Stand Up Memories.
The reason we have no listeners is because I always let Peter start the show.
You want to start the show?
And nobody, the minute they see him start talking, you can hear the clicks. I'm just teasing, you know that.
I know you do. You tease
How
me.
great is it? We got John
We have
Debellis.
such
Long
yes,
time. It's great, guys. Always making me
such
laugh.
a long time. And well, let's do our Jackie.
Let me ask you a question. Is this our first international broadcast?
It is now.
Yeah.
This is Jackie the Joke Man Marling. I'm Peter Bales.
Hello.
And we have a guest, a terrific stand-up comedian, a terrific writer, and we go back to the original improvisation.
Yes.
And
Zooming all the way from
and
Kansas.
he's not in Kansas. He's farther away than Kansas. He is in Nicaragua.
Can you say that?
He is in Nicaragua and is going to great lengths to avoid paying any taxes to the U.S. government.
And we have to hail him for that. John, thanks for being here
Yeah.
for us.
Oh, it's great. It's great seeing you guys, man.
Oh, you are so funny and the memories are so wonderful. But first question has to be, what are you doing in Nicaragua?
Well, when I started comedy, this was always my goal, to end up in Nicaragua.
So you did it.
I did it.
Who did it?
I don't know how the hell I ended up here. I have no goddamn idea.
It is pretty random, right? I mean, it's like, I don't have 100 friends that are in Nicaragua.
I have actually been to Nicaragua.
Have you?
Beautiful country with beautiful people. You
Yeah.
fly into Managua, and we
Wow.
were at a little town helping to build houses with my sons on a trip.
What, Jimmy Carter?
Well, it was that kind of a trip. It was terrific. Nicaragua is a terrific, beautiful place. And,
Wow.
they're
beautiful.
working hard to build up the economy, really. They got to get going. They have challenges.
There's all kinds of rumors that there's pretty women there.
Oh yeah. They don't care about age. This is no, you see it. It's kind of romantic. You see a mature guy, on the beach, with this beautiful girl with brown hair blowing in the air, long tan legs, great butt, Latin American butt. And then they, especially when they bend over, they become rounded. When they have to put the guy back in the wheelchair,
Well, now
I have an important question.
we know why you're there.
At what point in our lives did we change from saying there was an old guy on the beach to there's a mature guy on the beach? It's like, I guess when we get old enough, instead of saying old guy, we say a mature guy. This is so funny because you're on Zoom. It's like all three of us are visiting with our grandchildren, only the grandchildren aren't here. It's so
I know.
So you see old guys with younger women a lot?
All the time. Let's just think I'm young compared to what they want, which is Ben Franklin's.
Wow. And so it's more cultural.
John told me at one point, he said, wow, look at that old guy with the young girl. And his friend said, John, that's a mirror.
Now, so it's culturally acceptable for younger girls to go with older guys in Nicaragua. And that means Jackie and I will be right down. We're going to come down and we want to join in. It's a beautiful country. It really, really is.
Fantastic.
Now, that's not the Larry David most people know. I mean, challenging audience members to a fight.
Oh, he was always good. He was anything that, in other words, we'd be hanging out in Central Park. I'd be sitting there eating something, nothing. Larry, one day, God's honest truth, sitting there eating a sandwich, and a bum wanted half his sandwich. And they actually got in a fist fight.
Because he wanted to give it to him, or he didn't want to give
sandwich. He wanted half of Larry's tuna fish sandwich. And then I was with him in Yankee Stadium, and we had gotten seats from the commissioner. So we're in a commissioner's booth in Yankee Stadium, a row from the center. And but we're on the Rangers, Texas Rangers side, and the guy in front of him starts making fun of Juan Gonzalez, right? Who's a Ranger. Now, Larry's a Yankee fan. Somehow Larry takes personal offense to it. And they're screaming and they're screaming. They finally get up and they're pushing and shoving each other. I mean, literally, faces are red, beer falling down, in the commissioner's booth.
Now, this was after Larry was famous.
No, this was right when.
Well, how do you guys get in the commissioner's booth when you're
we got tickets for somebody he noticed. He was just doing Seinfeld then. It wasn't doing Curb yet.
Okay, all right.
But he was still doing pretty well.
Yeah,
you know,
he was doing pretty well. But he gets in the
it's funny, John, because I was not around much. Like I was a Long Island guy. I was only in Catch a Rising Star here and there, and I knew that Larry was crazy and that he would start trouble with you. So that must have been a ubiquitous thing to know. It wasn't like anybody's secret, you know.
No, everybody knew it. That's why we
all had a wild afro, right? Like a wild black, a Jew fro, you know. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he used to get, you know, he'd go me, I got the secret to stand up, John. I got the secret to stand up. I said, what is it? He says, I'm not gonna wear my glasses, so I can't see the audience. That was his secret. And then it would work for one show, and then he'd bomb, and then he would throw it. Richie Tinkins said that they had to buy a new microphone, a mic. They actually know he would break so many microphones that they eventually glued the microphone to the stand, so he couldn't break anymore.
That's hysterical.
The people that don't know, tell them who
Richie Tinkins, one of the owners,
owned the comic strip. Yeah.
Comic strip, now called the Comic Strip Live.
Yep.
But really, it all.
Yep.
He glued the mic so that he couldn't break.
Yeah, so he couldn't break. Couldn't
so
throw.
How'd you do the first time you got up?
I did okay.
How'd you do the first time you got up?
I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea. The first thing I did, you know, I'm basically one-liners, but I don't know what I was doing. I walked up. The very first thing I ever did on stage. What did I say? Oh, Christ, what was it? Italian crucifix. My impression of Italian crucifix was a dumb joke. You know,
that'll never not be funny. That'll never not be funny. That's hysterical.
But
I actually did a joke with my band that I read it for. It's your joke, and how it wound up on Long Island. You just got a new insurance company, Mutual of Sicily.
Yes,
who hit you and they push him down a flight of stairs. That's your joke, right?
Yeah, my joke. And
we told that out on Long Island.
That's very funny. That's wow. I know that. Wow.
I owe you $4.
I'm actually doing a show here. I'm doing a show here on September 1st in San Juan del Sur, which is a tourist town, a gringo town. And then I'm doing one on October 6th in San Juan with this gorgeous bilingual, which was bisexual, but it was bilingual female comic.
That's terrific. You know, but so it's an English show in Nicaragua.
So when she's a bilingual comic, does she tell a joke in one language and then tell it in the other language?
Well, she's going to do her. Actually, it's two of them I'm going to work with. I'm going to work with two of them. And then I'm doing the first show, which is going to be bilingual. And then they do another show, later show, that's all in Spanish. Wow. I have no idea how good they are or anything like that, but it should be really interesting. Yeah.
But are the clubs far? Are they like the little Jersey clubs or like New York clubs? Are they big dance clubs?
This one is on the beach. It's on the water. It's right next to the beach. So it'll be beautiful, you know. And San Juan is a real tourist town, you know. And there's a lot of gringos, and you know, it's the most popular tourist town in Nicaragua.
Yeah, well, if you don't do well, you can tell everybody that, you know, you speak Spanish. You can blame it on the language. Right?
That's right. I did a gig here with Middleman, with Steve.
Really?
He came down to visit, and I said, I got a place we could work together. Yeah. And he did it with me. It was fun. Yeah. On the beach, again, on the beach. Beautiful location. Gorgeous.
That's so funny.
Nothing compares to that night, Peter, with us.
Yeah, now we have to get to this. Because I said we got to have John Debellis on the show. He says, "Oh yeah, I know John. We go way back." And Peter and I actually had some adventures. And he said, "No, John and I had an adventure. I wonder if he remembers it."
Oh God,
I got friends that I had wild times with, and I'll say, "Hey, do you remember this night?" And they'll go, "I don't know what you're talking about." But it seems, I guess, you guys
Well,
share.
We were not the.
share a
we were
memory
not-
of being two beautiful women at the Improv.
Oh, it was amazing. It was a Sunday night guest spot.
Wow.
I won't forget it. I got off stage and I get a note and it says, "How'd you like to meet a beautiful California girl?" Listen, I would meet a beautiful girl from Secaucus. I don't care, an ugly one from Secaucus.
So who gave you the note?
Huh? The girl, a waitress brought it up. And then she came out and she was like, looked like Olivia Newton-John. She was like stunning. Then she goes to me, "I have a girlfriend. Do you have a guy?" And I'm saying, "Well, what guy do I know that won't care what she looks like?" Peter. Peter won't care. It's a female. He don't give a shit, Right, Peter?
Well, yeah, except that she turned out to be
Gorgeous.
Olivia
Like a
Newton-John,
6-foot brunette. Gorgeous. It was almost like, why did I say I knew someone? Why didn't I just say, I'm the only thing you got?
Wow.
And it was a magical night. I was in my 20s. Legitimate, nothing, something I can remember fondly.
I hate to rain. I hate to rain on your parade.
But it turned out better for you, Peter, because if you remember, we went out with them and they took us out and had a lot of tequila and stuff, So then they had one girl I was in one room and he was in the other room. And I got really drunk. I'm really, really drunk. And at one point they said, afterwards, let's switch. But I got so drunk when I was with this girl, I threw up everywhere.
Oh no!
I threw up everywhere. He was okay. He kept going. I just threw up everywhere.
Oh,
thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The problem with the story, Debellis.
What's that?
The problem with the story is that you guys remember it so fondly, but you're really making it sound like this didn't happen that often. Like this was like a one-off.
It didn't happen that often. Not for me. But the thing was, he had no problem because he was in the other room, But then the next night, I'm in Catch a Rising Star, and this blonde and brunette show up. They ignored me. They didn't even look my direction and walked the other way.
Oh, that's now you didn't throw up on them.
Not on them. I threw up a lot of places. I don't know if I got it on her anyway. I don't know.
That's just great.
All right.
That's comedy.
Back then, there were.
I have never seen you blush on this show. Look at Dale's, John.
He was with this gorgeous. This brunette was a 6-foot beauty. A model type. She was gorgeous.
Back in those days, there were fewer comics, and
yes,
comedy was just getting hot. And being a comedian,
your odds were much better.
It was like being a fighter pilot. It was different. And now everybody's cousin is a comedian. It was different. And you're in your 20s, and it was an exciting time. It was an exciting time to be a comedian. Now listen to the names that he mentioned.
I remember Rick Overton saying to me when I first met him, he said, "Do you realize there are less comedians than there are brain surgeons?" I swear to God, it was true.
That's true. It got to the point now where politicians are appealing to the comedian vote.
That's how many. That's a good point.
That's crazy.
That's how many comedians there are.
That's how many there are out there.
Don't remember Freddie Prinze Sr. But Freddie Prinze you mentioned is the original Freddie Prinze.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
I had to hide her one time. He came in one time. I was sitting. It was in the winter. And there was a pile of coats next to me, and I was sitting with Kitty Bruce. And he was going out with Kitty Bruce. Kitty Bruce was who?
Tell the audience.
Jack Bruce's, Lenny Bruce's daughter.
Lenny Bruce's.
And they were going out, and she goes, "John, I don't want to talk to him right now. I don't want to talk to him. Hide me." So I put her under these coats, figuring, I'm a new guy. Freddie's not going to come sit next. And he comes and he sits across from me, And she's under a pile of coats, boy. And I'm trying to keep the coats on top of her from moving. Until Freddie finally went on, and I was able to sneak her out of the place. But I thought she was gonna have a heat stroke. It was
We're
crazy
talking about
time.
Freddie Prinze as a comedian, and he was discovered, I believe, at Catch a Rising Star by Johnny Carson, correct?
Yeah, either Catch or the Improv. I think it was Catch Rising Star. Yeah,
Catch a Rising Star, and his show, of course, is a trivia question. Very successful at the time. You remember the name of Chico and the Man?
Chico and the Man.
Chico and the Man. That's right. Yeah, yeah.
Right, and so did you find his stand-up funny? Was it deserved?
Yeah, his stand-up. He was so relaxed. He's one of the most relaxed performers I'd ever seen. I don't remember his bits, but he was I just remember how relaxed he was on stage. It was
really, really likable. People just
likable, and just like he was living. He was in I hate to use the old expression, but he was in his living room. He was like just so nonchalant, you know.
What do you remember about the young Richard Belzer?
Oh, I loved Richard, you know. He was the one. He always he made the audience feel like they had to apologize to him. I mean,
yeah,
and he attacked, but he did it in a likable way. And I always think now about Belzer that he used to do a bit that Mick Jagger would be in his 80s and singing, and he would do the bit, but he would be very Jewish doing it and stuff, doing it like that. And I keep thinking, boy, was he wrong? I mean, Jagger still looks pretty good for, you know.
Absolutely.
He's been dancing out of rhythm for 5 decades, 6 decades.
Yeah, you're a musician. She'd know that, yes.
How about a young Jerry Seinfeld? What comes to mind?
I didn't know Jerry that. I mean, I saw him a lot, but you knew he was going to be. There was something special about him because he had a plethora of material. It was very concise, you know, well constructed. And I remember years later, I went to catch because we did a special on ABC about comedians, and I happened to take down an old picture of something because they were moving stuff around. I still have it here, and under the picture, and I did a photocopy because I gave the original to Richie Tinkin. It was his audition, original audition paper that they had, and they wrote on it, "Must put him on," you know. And they were right, you know.
Wow,
great stuff, man! Wow.
It was
Rodney
amazing.
Dangerfield?
Rodney
for one-liners. Who beats him?
John.
I don't know anybody, and nobody can beat. You know who could. You know, I was watching. Nobody knows who he is. Anybody out there, get a chance, go on YouTube and look for Ronnie Shakes.
Oh, yes.
I was watching videos of him yesterday or the other day. Oh God, was he funny? Oh my God.
Right, he's one-liner after the other, like even shorter jokes than Rodney,
even shorter. Yeah, and he had that great attitude, that very unusual attitude.
I told you this joke not too long ago. Ronnie Shakes. I went to the beach to drown myself and commit suicide, but I knew I wasn't serious. I brought a towel.
That's just great.
He had one joke. Ronnie Shakes, the great Ronnie Shakes.
Remember, he did the one about. He said he took a course in reincarnation. This was expensive. He says, "What the hell?" What did he say? Forgot the punchline. Come on, you got to know the punchline.
We got
only one. No, I know what it is. He would go. Yeah, it was took a course in reincarnation. It was very expensive, but I figured, what the heck? You only live once.
He had a joke like somebody. How fat was she? I don't know. I couldn't get far enough away to tell.
To see Oliver. Remember that? Yeah. Then he would go, come over here.
Everybody came through the Improv. Everybody came through Catch a Rising Star and the comic strip. They were the 3 main clubs in the 80s and the late 70s.
Oh yeah, the main clubs. But you know what? I would like someday, and maybe I'll write another book about the guys that nobody knew that are so funny, that nobody, like Jack Raymond.
Jack
Remember
Raymond.
how funny Jack Raymond was? My wife, what a fat pig my wife was. I told her to get the fuck out of the house. I said, get the fuck out of the house. He goes, now she goes on a water diet. She drinks 8 cups of water a day. Now she's not fat. She's bloated. I told her to get the fuck out of the house.
Here's another name. You folks at home, you should Google Ed Bluestone.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Oh, God, he was funny.
Oh.
You know what?
Oh, my
I
God.
think
Jewish
he's
hunting.
like on Facebook or something.
He's,
No, he's still around.
Ed Bluestone, he's quadrisexual. He'll have sex with anybody
For a quarter. Yeah. Jewish hunting. Jewish
uh,
hunting. They bring the animals home they bring the animals to your home in cages. Sometimes they make it dangerous. They leave their feet untied.
He used to do something called 10 things to say at the funeral of somebody you didn't like.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And we took that, and at the Fort Lauderdale comic strip, we were trying to piece them all together. And Joe Mullen said, oh, that's an old thing. We did that in the 40s. You know, that's a classical thing. And me and Bill McCarty and all the other, I think we got up to 60. We have 60 things to say, which is because it's so wrong.
Yeah.
So funny, you know. Tell the widow you think you saw him move.
Yeah,
just so great, you know.
Shake their hand with the electric buzzer. You know,
oh, I got to get this in. You mentioned Jack Grayman. There is a stock line. It's now a stock line for dealing with the audience when you're heckled. We're your parents' first cousins. Jack Grayman, I know where that line originated. And it was at the comic strip, and it was at late at night, and he was on stage bombing, and a bunch of us comics were in the back kind of watching him bombing and laughing at the bombing situation. An audience member said, we're your parents' first cousins.
Oh, that's
and the joke exploded across the room, and everybody, all the comics heard it, and it became a heckle line that was used so frequently. Now it's
the most famous story. You remember the most famous story about him was that he came up with a joke. And the first time he tried it on stage, Rick Newman, the owner of Catch a Rising Star, was in the audience with Linda McCartney.
Yep, he didn't know it. I was the MC that night.
You were there?
I was the MC. Rick says to me, I got a special guest coming. I'm not going to tell you who it is. He says, I'll let you know when. So I was downstairs with Jack, with everybody downstairs. I told him, he said, who do you have? I said, I have Jack Grayman. I said, save him. So then I'm downstairs and I get a call, bring Jack on. Bring Jack. Rick's in the audience. So Jack doesn't know who's in the audience. He just goes in. You can't see the back of the room. And he goes, what's a dog with wings? He goes, Linda McCartney. And she was
in the audience.
She was in the audience. She comes storming out. Rick comes storming out. Jack comes out. He goes off stage. Rick jumps him. And has him, you know, that separation, has him on the ground, choking him. He's gonna kill him. And we had to pull Rick off him, otherwise Jack would have been dead. You know?
What must have went through Rick's mind as he said that? It must have been like a lightning bolt.
Yeah. He didn't, he probably thought he knew, but Jack had no idea. And he said, I just made that riddle up that day. He goes, it wasn't even that funny. You know?
Oh God! And the joke went around the world and back. You know,
what do you call a dog with wings? Linda McCartney, and she was in the audience.
Yeah, she was not dirty. She was not. She was attractive, but he just, Jack.
I know. It's just a joke, but I mean, you wouldn't say it
because the way you look at it is no girl could possibly match up to be good enough to be with one of the Beatles, so
that's
listen. Oh, this time went so fast, John. You are terrific. You are
it's
so
great
fun.
seeing
Can we
you guys.
do a rebook?
We're gonna have you on again. Are you psyched?
Anytime, man. I love you guys.
But wait,
man.
one important thing. Tell everybody the name of your book and how to get it.
Okay, it's Stand Up Guys, A Generation of Laughs. A lot of these stories are in it. It's on Amazon. That's the best place to get it. That's all.
And it's great.
The name again is
Stand Up Guys.
Stand Up Guys, A Generation of Laughs. Yeah.
By John Debellis. Oh, thank you for coming.
It's so good seeing you guys.
Oh, so great. to
Also,
see
like
you.
I said, if you want you middleman to do the show, he will come on anytime to
we'd
do
love
a
that.
show.
Well,
Oh,
tell him we
absolutely.
absolutely. I was going to
We
tell you,
certainly were.
don't tell him I said hello.
I won't do that.
I have a
actually
whole
talked to
thing
him
where they
like, he-
torture each other.
They do.
Him and Steve Middleman just torture each other.
Oh yeah,
Ladies and
we just have we have a
gentlemen.
fake feud. He's doing a birthday for 100-year-old guy September 1st, so that should be interesting. So I'm helping him come up with some old jokes.
Is
doing
that
some-
true? Is that true?
100?
Yes, yes.
The bass player in my band in college, his grandmother was turning 100 and she was in the hospital and they brought her a cake with a candle on it. It's a true
Wow.
story. And she blew out the candle and died face first into the cake. And that is a
Oh
true
my-
story.
Oh my
You
God.
remember Fred Stoller's joke? I'll paraphrase. Fred Stoller, great comedian. My grandfather died on his 90th birthday. Maybe I shouldn't have given him all those birthday punches. On that note,
Just-
Debellis, comedian, writer.
Great
thank you.
talking to you guys.
Johnny, we'll do this
Anytime.
again.
We're
We'll
going to
this
do it again, definitely.
Anytime,
Jackie the
guys.
Joke Man.
Let me know when it's going to be on so I can tell some people. So
We
you know.
absolutely will.
We absolutely will. And I'm Peter
All right.
Bale, and this has been
All right.
Stand Up Memories. We will see you next time.
We
Thank
love you,
We'll see
Johnny.
you next time. Love you guys. I really do. Miss you guys a lot.
All right.
Take care,
Stay,
man.
John.
That was a pretty good episode.
A new episode every Wednesday with me, Peter Bales, Jackie the Joke Man Martling, comedians, interesting people. Leave a comment. We'll get what am I saying?
I don't know.
We're gonna get back to you. We will respond to your comment.
Standupmemories.com. If you go there, it shows all the different
All
platforms.
Spotify, we're on everything.
Every Wednesday.
Stand Up Memories,
Every Wednesday.
a new episode.